This video is brought to you by Dr. Kristen R. Bromley's Guitar Method Book Series and Online Music Academy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online academy. It sure is great being here helping you with learning to play the guitar. It's a Theory Thursday, so we got a little fretboard theory for you. This is lesson 8 in sort of this little mini chunk on playing the major scale. So we unlock the fretboard through the major scale, such a fundamental and important thing to do. We've worked on some movable forms that work all along the fretboard to help us get that part down. Now we're working in first position, which really helps our understanding of the major scale increase because we have to memorize the notes. And some of you are probably interested in actually memorizing the notes all along the fretboard, and this information is vital to being able to do that. So we're going to dive right in. Now, in the last lesson, we looked at playing the C major scale in first position. It's vital that we learn where those natural notes are because the flats and sharps sit in relation to those. So the C major scale is the first one to learn, and we worked on that in the last lesson. So in this lesson, we're going to work on the keys. There's 6 keys that have flats in them, and so we're going to go ahead and look at that. And we're going to be unlocking sharps and flats and understanding the keys with the aid of the circle of fourths or cycle of fifths. So I'm going to go ahead and explain that. I have it drawn up here on the board. So what the circle of fourths is, and I'm going to use that one because that's sort of the way chords progress, and that's the way that I usually use it, and then I'll explain what it means with fifths. We haven't talked about intervals on Theory Thursday yet. There is a lesson coming on intervals, but the interval is the distance between 2 pitches. And there's an interval known as a perfect fourth, and the guitar is actually tuned for the most part in perfect fourths. And this actually is the interval that starts out the song. Here comes the bride. So that's a way to kind of know it. Now when we go between the G string and the B string, it's the only string pair that doesn't have a perfect fourth between the two. But B and E we do. So around the circle of fourths is taking the 12 pitches of the chromatic scale. We've talked about the chromatic scale a fair amount on Theory Thursday. And we go and we just pull out the notes that are spaced a perfect fourth apart, and we'll go through all the notes of the chromatic scale one time before we circle back around. Now on the guitar, if we start at the 8th fret on the 6th string, and we stay just on the 6th string and the 5th string, we can start there on the 8th fret, and that's a C. And then we can go to the next string, but same fret, 8th fret again, and that's an F. And then we come down 2 frets back to the 6th string, and that's a B flat. And then we go up to the next string, same thing at the 6th fret, and we're at E flat. Then we go down 2 frets and onto that lower string, and we got A flat. Then up to the next string, and we got D flat. We go down 2 frets, and we got G flat or F sharp. And then we go up to B. And now we've kind of run out of room, but if you go 5 frets higher on the same string, that's another way to go a perfect fourth interval. So I'm playing at the 2nd fret. If I go up to the 7th fret, so that's 5 frets higher, I'm up to E, and that's the next note. And then I go down 2 frets back to the 6th string, and I've got an A, and then a D, and then a G, and then a C. This is actually a great way to practice chords, which we're not working on at the moment, but to go around the circle of fourths, we can learn all the chords in different positions along the fretboard. It's a great thing to do. So that's why this is a nice recognition of how to play around the circle of fourths or to find them. Now, if you don't know these pitches, that doesn't help, but I've got the pitches drawn up here on the board. So that's the circle of fourths. So C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, and then B, E, A, D, G, and C. F sharp and G flat are kind of interchangeable because they both have the same number of accidentals. Now, we could actually, and harmonically, see C sharp, which has 7 sharps, and we could see C flat, which has 7 flats, and I'll get into that in a minute. So the magic of the circle of fourths is that the key of C has 0 sharps or flats, as we know from the last lesson. But as we go around through the circle of force on this right side, we're working on the flat keys in this lesson, and then in the next lesson we'll look at the sharp keys. We're going to add 1 flat as we go around each key. So the key of F has 1 flat, the key of B flat has 2 flats, the key of E flat has 3 flats, the key of A flat has 4 flats, the key of D flat has 5 flats, and the key of G flat has 6 flats. And then if we continued enharmonically to C flat, which is the same pitch as B, we would have 7 flats. Everything would be flatted. Now, what's also cool is as we search for the pitches that are going to be altered, we come around and we start over here with the B. It's directly opposite in the circle from the F. B is the first flat, so when the key of F has a flat, 1 flat, that's going to be a B note. The B notes are going to be played as B flat, so B flat. And then when we have 2 flats from B flat, we're going to move this way around the circle, still around the circle of force. B flat and E flat are in the key of B flat. E flat has 3 flats, B flat, E flat, A flat. A flat has 4 flats, B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat. D flat has 5 flats, so B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat. And then G flat has 6 flats, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, and C flat. So that's the order of flats, and that's really handy. It's handy for recognizing in written music the key signature, because those notes will be indicated as being flatted in the key signature, so we can identify the key of a song. But it also helps us with playing scales. So every single key, therefore every major scale, has some form of A note, B note, C note, D note, E note, F note, and G note. This tells us which ones are altered. So we know our C major scale, and if you haven't seen that lesson, you may want to check that one out. That one's lesson 7, part 7 in this whole little chunk of lessons on Theory Thursday about the major scale. This is lesson 8. But if we look at playing in the F major scale, those notes are going to go in order, alphabetical order, or the scale order of the natural notes, and then we're going to have some alterations. So we've got the F note, which is then followed by G, which is then followed by A, which is then followed by B in our musical alphabet, and our B note is going to be played as B flat instead of B natural. And then we'll go on to C, D, E, and F. So if we do this on the guitar, flats are 1 fret lower than sharps. So as we're working through this, we have a B note at the 2nd fret of the 5th string. Down 1 fret, it goes to B flat. So that's where we're going to play that note at when we're in that part of the range. And then the open B on the top, on the B string, or the 2nd string, is going to go to the 3rd fret of the 3rd string. This one's kind of different. Most of the open strings actually go down a string and go to the 4th fret on that string, but the one difference is on that 3rd string. We only go to the 3rd fret, and that's kind of an easy thing to remember. 3rd string, 3rd fret. And the reason we do that is because that interval difference between that 2nd and 3rd string is smaller than it is between all the others. We actually have a B natural at the 4th fret of that 3rd string, so down to B flat. So if we were to play our scale using the approach that we've used, we'll start on the lowest root, which is at the 1st fret of that 6th string. We're going to go to the highest note in the 1st position, so the highest note within the first 4 frets. So we've got a G note up on top. And then we're going to play all the way down to the lowest note, which is an open E, and then back to F. So we'd go Reti, and we'd have F, G, A, B flat at that 1st fret, C, D, E, F, G, A, and then B flat at that 3rd fret, and then C, D, E, F, G, coming back down, F, open E, 3rd fret D, C, B flat, A, G, F, E, D, C, B flat, A, G, F, E, F. So that's how we play that key. Now when we move on to the key of B flat, we're going to have 2 flats. B flat and E flat. So we already know where B flat is. E flat is, we've got a couple options. We can't play an E flat for the low 6th string because that's the lowest it's there unless we detune. We're not going to. So we've got the 2nd fret on the 4th string goes down to the 1st fret for E flat there. We've got the top string, E, that goes to the 4th fret on the 2nd string to play E flat. So with this scale, we go, starting on that B flat, we go ret, D, and we have B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, F, E flat, D, C, B flat, A, G, F, E flat, D, C, B flat, A, G, F, G, A, B flat. Now when we get to the key of E flat, we have 3 flats. We're going to add the A flat to the game. So we have an open 5th string that is an A, and the A flat for that is down on the 4th fret of the 6th string. And we have an A at the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. We're going to be down to the 1st fret of that string for A flat. And then we actually have an A at the 5th fret, and we can play A flat at the 4th fret there. So we got that A flat on top. So B flat, E flat, and A flat. When we have 3 flats for E flat, we start on the lowest pitch we can, and that's on that 1st fret of that 4th string, and we go ret, D, and E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, G, F, E flat, D, C, B flat, A flat, G, F, E flat, D, C, B flat, A flat, G, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat. I'm saying these out loud for your benefit, but it's actually really beneficial as you're learning where these are to say the notes out loud as you're memorizing them. Okay, so then we have A flat, which has 4 flats, and B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat. So we're adding D flat to the game. Our open 4th string is a D, so D flat for that one is down to the 4th fret of the 5th string. We got a D at the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, so D flat for that one is down to that 2nd fret. So to play this one, we're going to put our pinky down on that lowest A flat at the 4th fret of the 6th string, and we go ret, D, and A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, A flat, G, F, E flat, D flat, C, B flat, A flat, G, F, E flat, D flat, C, B flat, A flat, G, F, G, A flat. So just like that. Now D flat has 5 flats. So B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and then we're going to add G flat. So we have a G on that low 6th string at the 3rd fret, so G flat will be at the 2nd fret on that string. We've got the open G string at the 3rd fret, which goes down to the 4th fret of the 4th string, and then we got the G on the high string that goes down to the 2nd fret. Now something cool about this one is that it actually lines up exactly with our scale form for our movable shapes, the one that starts with the pinky on the 5th string. That does scale form 2, then has scale form 1 on top just a little bit, and scale form 1 on bottom just a little bit. This, in first position, we don't use any open strings to play in the key of D flat, so we're actually using one of our movable shapes here, which is kind of cool. So we go ret, D, and we have D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, G flat, F, E flat, D flat, C, B flat, A flat, G flat, F, E flat, D flat, C, B flat, A flat, G flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, C, and D flat, just like that. Okay, so moving on to the next one, then we have 6 flats: B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, and C flat. So we have a C natural at the 3rd fret of the 5th string. We go down a fret and it becomes B natural or C flat. They're inharmonic pitches, 2 different names for the same note. So when we have a C on that 1st fret of the 2nd string, we can go to the open B and we'll have a C flat there. Alternatively, you could actually reach, if you wanted with this one, to use the same movable shape that we do all along the neck using scale form 1, followed by scale form 2, and then we've got 2 little pieces on top and bottom. You could finger it, the C flat, with your pinky at that 4th fret on the 3rd string, because that's a B natural, or the open string. Either way, in true open position, we would use that open B, but sometimes when we're reading with that many flats, sometimes just that familiar scale form can be really useful. But here we go. So we go Ret, D, N, G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat, D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat, D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, G flat, F, E flat, D flat, C flat, B flat, A flat, G flat, F, E flat, D flat, C flat, B flat, A flat, G flat, F, and A flat, or G flat, sorry. Okay, so now I'd mentioned if we continue around the circle, you actually could have C flat. You might run into that key signature, which has 7 flats, and basically we'd be flatting everything. It's an uncommon one to read in, so I'm not going to worry about it. Now, if you want to look at the pitches in the scale forms up along the neck, if you wanted to memorize those, all you have to do is find the root. And so in the lessons where I went over the chromatic scale along each string, you could find a pitch along that string using the chromatic scale, and then you play the scale form. So for example, if I was going to play a B flat major scale, I put my middle finger on that 6th fret on that low 6th string, and I know that I'm going to use scale form 1 since I got my middle finger, and then I can use scale form 2, and then I've got the pieces on top and bottom. So if I know what the notes are in the B flat major scale, which I know it has 2 flats, B flat and E flat, I can go through that scale mentally as I work through. Think B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, and I can even just do 1 octave, get comfortable with that 1 octave. Saying the names of those notes out loud, I can start to memorize where the notes are. But really, in memorizing where the notes are, the very best and most easy thing to do that I think locks them in is actually to do note reading. And so the books 1 and 2 in the note reading books 1 and 2 in the method book series cover first position. And we work on each one of these keys, and besides playing scales in them, we actually work on reading melodies. So you have to recognize where the pitches are to read those melodies. And we work through them gradually. So we memorize each of the strings and then start working on the keys where we add 1 sharp or 1 flat and so on. So great things. And then note reading book 3 actually uses the scale system to cover the entire fretboard. We learn how to read in the key of C and then work on these other keys. So it's great way to learn the fretboard is actually by reading notes and reading melodies. So hope that helps. In the next lesson, we'll do this 9th part where we'll actually look at the sharp keys and how we play those pitches in first position. So this is great stuff, so fundamental and important in memorizing these pitches down here in first position. Can help us sort of unlock why the chords are formed in first position the way they are, and just start understanding a lot of things about music. So it's really valuable as we learn these major scales and learn these major keys, and we can work those in first position. It's extremely helpful in our musical journey. So hope you have fun with that. It might be a little tricky, a little bit of work, but it's good for you. Take care, keep having fun, and we'll see you again.
If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For more in-depth lessons and to progress through a free guitar course, check out my Guitar 101 series on YouTube and my guitar method books, which all come with access to hours of in-depth video lessons. You can find more information about me and my products at KristenBromley.com. Take care.